Good morning. You're watching Proactive London. Leonard Kolff joins us from Atlantic Lithium. Good morning, Len. How are you?
Good morning, Chris. Very well, thank you.
I'm pleased to hear it because you should be well and certainly happy. You've just had news out about your pre-feasibility study at Lithium Project in Ghana. Saying that it's robust and significant is quite an understatement, isn't it?
Well, lithium's a very hot sector at the moment, but we do believe we have an exceptional project on our hands here in Ghana. We recently put our PFS out yesterday, and we got some fantastic results out of that, including the increase in our post-tax NPV8 to 1.33 billion US, and our internal rate of return going up to 224%. In addition to that, we announced or declared our maiden reserves. So it's 18.9 million ton reserve, which is, really demonstrates the fundamentals and the robustness of this project in terms of conversion of resource to reserves. So fantastic outcome, yeah.
And you say a payback within 5 months. Despite those brilliant figures that are coming out, how are you looking to maintain low overheads? I understand you've got a very good working responsibility over there, and the local community has been very supportive.
Correct. Yeah. Look, we've been in Ghana now for well in excess of 6 years. We've steadily continued to grow this project. That's continued to hit its straps at each continued de-risking stage through our main resource, our scoping study, updated scoping study, and now our PFS, which really is a step change from the scoping study. So we really are getting into the serious end of things now, and the project continues to deliver. Now, technically, it's good. There haven't been any significant surprises yet. Our capex has come up from our previous scoping study number, but the PFS is a completely different animal to the scoping study, and primarily in that the resources obviously increased by over 40%, so a much larger mining area. And importantly, we bought the primary crushing circuit in-house as opposed to contract mining, which is what we considered under the scoping study. So those are some significant changes which have added to the capital, but we believe it's justified, and it will certainly help spearhead future operations to bring that crushing function in-house, and in particular to manage the production or loss of fines. So it's very important in these lithium pegmatite projects to minimize your lithium losses in fines, which you often see at that primary crush stage. So bringing that in-house lets us manage that more carefully, as opposed to contract crushing, where it's really about meeting productivity as opposed to the sensitivities around fines losses.
Mm-hmm.
The community has stayed and continues to be a very strong supporter of us, and we certainly integrate into the community as one of the ways we operate. It's exceptionally important anywhere you work around the world, notwithstanding Africa. But this project is amongst a few communities. We got a town of Mankasin to the northeast of us, the town of Salt Pond to the southwest of us, and they're towns of roughly 25,000 people. And the project's on the Atlantic seaboard, so there's been a lot of population in this area over a long period of time. We're aware of that, and we've got systems in place to manage that. And the project design coming into the PFS has certainly addressed a lot of those challenges around that. But we're not needing to relocate any towns or villages. We do have a few households to relocate, but it won't be the first time that's happened in Ghana. And we certainly have a strong system in place to manage that. In terms of the communities themselves, we are primarily employed locally, and all from within the communities where we are, or the lion's share. So over 80% of our staff come from those towns and villages where we operate. So they all go home at the end of the day's shift of work, which is rare in the mining industry. And as a result, we're very well ingrained in the community, and they're a very strong supporter of us.
It must be a huge boon for the local community as well, with such uh, figures coming out of the PFS, and you say lithium battery metals working towards global hope. We hope decarbonisation as soon as we can, being very much at the forefront of everybody's mind. Can you tell us how important has Piedmont been operationally in the lead up to the PFS, and how will they go forward with you in the next few months?
Yeah, so Piedmont came on board and they're funding us through our studies, and going into stage 3, they have the option to fund 70 million US dollars of the capex of the plant build. They've been very supportive through the studies, and since they first saw the opportunity here, so they recognized very early on it was a compelling opportunity. It has a lot of synergies with their project just across the Atlantic. So it made a lot of sense. And given they're a few years ahead of us in terms of their hard rock spodumene project and exposure in the lithium space, it's been a very fruitful relationship and a win-win relationship in my view. And they've certainly provided a lot of support and assistance and advice coming through into our PFS.
Yeah, it sounds like because they, as you say, they're a bit further ahead than you with their projects over there, that they can advise you to any stumbling blocks or what to expect or any technical data you may need. Well, I mean,
Right.
the news it's so encouraging. So, what kind of time frame are we working to now? Now the PFS has shown these kind of figures. You say the scoping studies first and the PFS. Where are we now? Are we expecting further updates from you in the very near future? How's it going to progress the end of this year and into next?
Yeah, well, it's been an exceptionally busy year, notwithstanding the delivery of the PFS, which we've delivered when we said we were going to deliver. Our dual listing now here on the ASX, which we've delivered when we said we were going to deliver. And in terms of news flow and steps going forward for this project, our key focus now is to finish the 37,000 meter resource infill and extensional program, which we started back in March this year. We had upwards of 4 drill rigs on site concurrently, drilling 24/7, and we're nearly at the tail end of that program. And we've already announced some really exciting results from that program. So roughly a third of that meterage was designed towards resource growth. So that's additional tons outside of the current resource volume. So we announced our best result, which was, I think it was 69 meters at 1.34% outside of the current resource volume, which is going to add more tons to this compelling project already. And the remainder of the drilling was focused on infill, so de-risking the project further as we move to DFS. So converting the remaining inferred to indicated on the margins of the deposits, and then converting the first 1.5 to 2 years of indicated to measured, which is required for the DFS to be able to announce proven reserves. So that program's delivered some really good results, and we expect to see solid news flow between now and the end of the year. And we're targeting a resource upgrade at the end of this year. Now, labs have been, under the pump given the lithium boom, and we're seeing slightly slower turnaround times than we've experienced in the past. But they're looking after us, and we hope to achieve that time frame. But if not, it could be early quarter next year. But fingers crossed.
Well, I know you've got a lot to be working on there, and the figures are looking so strong and so encouraging. I know you're going to be a very busy man right up to the end of the year, but I do hope you'll spare some time to come and keep us updated at Proactive London. In the meantime, Leonard Cole from Atlantic Lithium, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much, Chris. Pleasure to be here.